Happy Friday, everybody. Welcome back to Reality Water Cooler. I am Sarah in Texas, and this is our place to chat all the latest reality TV gossip. And of course, Jeff Lewis. Why is Instagram not on? Okay, it is on. Sorry, I was like, why is Instagram not on? Oh my gosh, y'all get comfortable in comments. I love to hear what you have to say. Make sure you're following me, liking, commenting, subscribing, all the things. I would really appreciate it. Let me get that banner turned off, get my comments turned on. We will definitely make time to ask questions at the very end. I do try to read your comments as I'm going along, but please understand I've got an iPad, I've got a computer, I've got my phone. So I've got a lot of different comments that I'm trying to look at and also trying to pay attention with y'all for sure. Shout out Dames Who Dish, Gina and Ann just got on. Oh my gosh, y'all. My DMs are so interesting. Y'all give me so much information that I might have missed. Y'all send me screenshots of Reddit. You send me screenshots of people that have blocked me. You let me know who is liking comments that are posts that are very interesting and who's commenting on things. Sometimes I don't make an Instagram story about it, but just know it's all going in my brain and I might talk about it. I might not. Thank you, Allison, for buying a badge on Instagram. I really appreciate it. And thank you for everyone that keeps buying badges and then all the little tricks, whatever they're called, the little fun things on TikTok. I really appreciate it. Anyway, so there is so much, and I really appreciate you, Jeff Lewis, because I spend a lot of time and love and energy and devotion to my Instagram account, all my social media accounts, but I could not do it without y'all. I really couldn't. Speaking of doing it without y'all, this could be the very last day of the plastic bookshelf. I mean, I get so much crap for it. I'll try to get out of the way. People say it's messy, and I'm like, no, like it's clean, it's organized. I don't know. It's just trinkets from Bravo and Jeff Lewis stuff. Books that I love. Paige Davis's Christmas card from last year. The wine from The Boys, The Hideaway Low, Drama Darling, My Girl Amy, Poland Betrayal. I mean, everything. Chaz Dean, Countess Louis. Everything means something to me. All the books, the few books I have. Anyways, but I'm going to try to work on it Friday or Sunday. I've got a really busy day tomorrow. Super fun. I've got a facial. I've got a good friend's lunch that I'm going to have. And then I've got a super fabulous gala. Oh, I can't stand those things to support a girlfriend and a good charity in Houston. So a little bit busy. Also, it's Thanksgiving break. But Jeff Lewis has announced today that Silva is going to come on next Friday. So he's not taking Friday off. I thought he would, and I was going to take off, but nope. I'll be back in my daughter's closet with y'all at 2:00 Central Time. So if you can't catch it on Friday because you're out shopping or hanging with family, which I understand, then catch me on the replay on all my social media at Jeff Lewis Obsessed, or of course the podcast. And some of y'all didn't know I have a podcast. Yes. So it goes up everywhere you get your podcast. I think Spotify is the only one now that puts it up as a video option, but it's up as an audio option everywhere that you get your podcast. So anyways, thank you, Lady Grace. I like all your Clubhouse Closet stuff. I am taking some design ideas, though, that y'all have given me. It came in today or yesterday, this pink wallpaper that's gorgeous. Almost the color of this. So we'll have to see if I wear something like this, it could mess it up. But anyways, and then these gorgeous brass shelves that are going on with these floating shelves. So we'll just see. If I don't like something, I can always take it off and try again, because Amazon is my friend. It is so easy to just try, throw something up. And if I don't love it, return it and try a different color. So anyways, no, Marty, it's not pre-recorded with Sai. I don't think Jeff ever does pre-records. He does not like a pre-record. So it's very interesting. If you didn't catch my Instagram stories yesterday and my chat on Reality Water Cooler, I think it's very interesting that, all these people are like intertwined in all of these feuds. And so I love when y'all send me information on who's liking, who's commenting, who's following who's not, who's promoting projects that they were on yesterday, who's not, who's promoting the same day, their prior Jeff Lewis live appearance and hoping they'll be on again. So anyways, so interesting. On Instagram, I see you says, why are people on Reddit dragging you? I would love to address that. By the way, I am an open book. So come at me with your questions. If I find it worthy, I will absolutely answer you. And but people are saying things. I'm not on Reddit, but I got sent something yesterday and that's kind of why I went off on that podcaster yesterday that had immediately after VIP BravoCon made an immediate Patreon saying, oh, she saw everything. I absolutely was aggressive with Brandy and Julie. And I definitely approached Heather McDonald. And no. First of all, we all know if anything had happened, I don't know why she didn't get her freaking camera out. Like, video it, lady. There is proof in the pudding. I stand proud of how I act in public, how I act on social media, how I act in my private life. None of us are perfect. We all make mistakes, but it's all about accountability and apology in changing your behavior if you do make a mistake or if you do whatever. I am really good at that. Okay. So this person made a podcast saying some exaggerations and out lies. Interestingly enough, Heather McDonald unblocked me and sent me an apology DM hours after that. I just didn't happen to see it till I flew home the next day. So, and she's kept me unblocked. So we're not refollowing each other, me and Heather McDonald, but let's just say based on her Patreon today and one of the little snippets she said, she's definitely quoting me. So she knows exactly what I'm saying. She quoted me saying, this woman said, how does a 53-year-old woman not know real jewelry from costume? And she says, I thought it was costume jewelry, the earrings. So anyways, like I said, if she would stop talking about it, this micro influencer would stop talking about it. But anyway, silence is loud. So we're done with that. We're not talking about, the details of her Patreon or anything like that. I am super curious to see how all these friendships play out. Even Jill Zarin is really good friends with Heather McDonald. She loves Jeff Lewis. 3 of Jeff Lewis's ex-boyfriends have been very active on social media because y'all send me everything. Comments on Instagram, liking things, following people, comments in Facebook groups. Yes, one of the Jeff Lewis mean Facebook groups. I mean, my mind is blown. I don't understand any of it. So, Kathy Evans, I addressed this yesterday. No, Chef Stu and I are not following each other anymore, and it's not my story to tell. It is his. I did nothing on my end, let's just say. Okay. So, anyways, but there are actions you can do on Instagram that make you not follow someone. Does that make sense? And then there's actions they can do to reverse that. Does that make sense? Anyways, again, not my story. Okay. Oh my gosh. Okay, let's get into it. I'm trying to spend my time finishing Salt Lake City, and I just keep getting distracted with things I would rather focus on, which is chatting with y'all and Jeff Lewis content. So I have not finished the last episode of Salt Lake City for sure. Yeah, Sunny Negro. Yes, thank you. Anyways, Carrie. We'll just call out her name again. It makes me sad that MP of Pink Shade Pod did that. Me too. And, she's never reached out to me to explain or to apologize, say I effed up. But you know what? Who looks stupid? Because honestly, we all know if I did anything wrong at all at the VIP BravoCon room on Sunday around 4:30 that time, 4:30 p.m., somebody would be coming out or somebody would have videoed it or been talking about it and said, thank you, Julie, for buying a badge. Somebody would have said, and also Heather McDonald absolutely wouldn't have unfollowed me and apologized to me. And she also mentioned on either her Juicy Scoop or a Patreon, she didn't name my name, but she was talking about me and her housewives, what did she call it? Housewives adventure or housewives encounter or whatever she called it. We all know she was talking about me, and she said she apologized. So end of story. I will not go into all the details that happened that day out of respect for it and the fact that she didn't deny anything. Because I'll tell you one thing about me. If somebody out and out lies or denies or embellishes or exaggerates something about me, the receipts are going to come out. I've done it before. I am not messy like that. It's not how I roll. But sometimes people just my lovers, over and over just say stupid shit. And I'm like, eventually I'm going to post the receipts like I have done to Susan Sy in one of that little mean Facebook group about me. Okay. What else is going on? I already talked about Side of Silva. Okay. Let's get into the after show. Let's get into the show today. Like I said, I didn't watch Salt Lake City, so kind of thought I would. Oh my God. Jeff Lewis got the best advice from Judge Lauren Lake today. She has been through it all. She is in a co-parenting situation, although hers is much better now with hers. But she really gave Jeff some really good information. Jeff definitely put some digs in about Gage. But he does, I think, want to have a good co-parenting relationship. I think he wants to be done with the lawsuits, but since they can't seem to come to an agreement, it seems like it's going to go on and on and on again. So it's just crazy. Judge Lauren Lake was also on with Zach Noe Towers. Zach Noe Towers, I loved at one point, he was talking about that Jeff needs to make a stamp, said I paid for, or Daddy Jeff paid for this, and like stamp it all over Gage's house or apartment. I thought that was funny. But Jeff's goal really is to have this 1 week on, 1 week off situation with Gage. That way there's zero interaction. He says something about some comments that Gage wrote on their Family Wizard app that he is now adjusted because he realized that wasn't going well for him. But even on the after show, which was so good, if you of all days didn't listen to Patrick and Pohl on today's after show, it was so good. But also Jeff Lewis talks about that he's actually not mad at Scott Anderson, his ex, because he treats, or him and Gage dating, because he treats and loves Monroe so much. I am curious if anyone has sent him the information where he commented on Heather McDonald's merch post on Instagram saying, is this item available, the hoop earrings merch, if this is available as a onesie? I am curious if his thoughts would change on that, because, if he truly wants to buy his son a onesie with this hoop earring merch on it, why he could have just sent her a DM. He could have just sent her a text. I'm assuming they're still friendly, right? But instead he chooses to post it on there. Scott Anderson, again, just a reminder, he had blocked me a while ago. He unblocked me recently, wrote some really nice things to me and explained why he blocked me. We had a short conversation. He also said, by the way, I have to block you again just to preserve my, he doesn't want to be looking at Jeff Lewis content, right? So, and I'm a Jeff Lewis fan account. So I totally understand that, but not that I was scanning the comments because I just don't make time for that. Other people sent it to me, but I would never have been able to see that comment because he has me blocked. So it doesn't even show up. You know what I mean? So anyways, but I am curious if somebody has sent it to Jeff Lewis and if he had seen it before he said that comment, because I think he would have been bothered by that. It's the public part of it for me. It's not him. Like if he bought a onesie with this earring gate merch on it, and just, he wore it around the house, he wanted to support Heather McDonald, what have you. That's very different than commenting publicly whenever, in my opinion, my memory of Scott, and y'all tell me if I'm wrong in the comments, he always said he didn't want all this publicity. He didn't want any of this, fame that comes along with Jeff Lewis. So why, a long time ago, why was he looking at my Jeff Lewis obsessed Instagram stories when they had been broken up for like 6-7 months at the time? Interesting, right? But anyways, I am curious. Yeah, when you're right, Dolly Girl says. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. Someone said he looked good and he said he lost. Oh, Sharon. Okay, I know what you're talking about. Y'all were talking about the post in a Facebook group. Yes. Someone said he looked good and he said he lost 195 pounds, which is what Jeff weighs. Yes. So one of Jeff's exes are is active in one of the mean Jeff Lewis obsessed or Jeff Lewis mean Facebook groups. Anyways, I don't know. Interesting. Like, interesting. Jeff is still being shadow banned on Instagram. I never see his content. Training with Nisa says. That happens for so many reasons and we never know why. So anyways, he'll be fine. He'll be fine. Okay, what else happened? So much with the co-parenting drama. I really hope things work out, obviously, for Gage and Jeff. I obviously want what's best for Monroe. I do think it's stressful whenever Jeff talks about details about things that Monroe tells him about Daddy Gage, because it's got to be a struggle for Jeff, who has a difficult time with his emotions and, blurting out, vomiting things, of not being that other person to in front of Monroe, right, about their other dad. But I love the advice that Judge Lauren Lake was able to give him. It was really good. So I hope he takes it. I hope he feels better about it. And like she said, as long as he says in a nice way, hey, I am out there working hard and I understand that Daddy Gage is able to do all this other fun stuff with you. But I know of so many people who have been in similar situations. And it is the Disney dad, as Judge Lauren Lake talked about, whereas there's always going to be one that tries to make it seem like I do all the fun things and the other person is just kind of the lame, strict, boring parent. Anyways, Sharon says, Jeff on TikTok, Jeff and Gage always get along better when Jeff is single. But when is Jeff single? I mean, even the few times since Jeff has been single, it's been times he's gotten back together with Scott. It's been times last December when he was, as far as we know, he was still with his ex-boyfriend Stu, right? And this information got brought up by Gage on an Ask Me Anything or whatever, letting out the juice that Jeff had been flirting more than dad stuff via text, right? And Jeff then later had to admit it and said Gage was doing the same thing. He was just smart enough not to put it in text, which I don't know, lesson learned, right? For sure. Crazy. What does Disney dad mean then? What a Miranda? I mean, I'm not in that situation. I'm not divorced. I don't come from divorce. So I'm not a Disney dad and I don't have a Disney dad. I took that as what Judge Lauren Wake was saying, was like the Disney dad means like the fun dad, all that kind of stuff. Anyways, oh my God, Krista, you went there. Next, we will hear Stu's in a throuple with Scott and Gage. Trauma bonding. I mean, I think it's normal. That's y'all know that I've never, yeah, that's what I meant. Disney dad means the fun parent. Yeah. Anyways, which I know what you mean. Jeff always says Gage is not the fun parent, that he is, but he means he's the one spending time with Monroe. So in this instance, he kind of means that Gage is the Disney dad as far as what Monroe was saying to him, right? Yeah. I mean, semantics. It's a hard situation because Gage and Jeff's situation is a little bit different in the sense that Jeff always says Gage is not the fun dad. He's more strict, doesn't allow the McDonald's, doesn't allow all the fun stuff, and Jeff is like taking her to movies and buying her Barbies and, probably, things like that. A little less strict on the bedtime, maybe. And the nanny mentioned too. So for sure. What else? CharityBuzz.com. Who's bidding? Somebody sent me something from a Facebook group or Reddit, I don't know, that said, oh, I'm sure it's Sarah in Texas that's going to buy this. No, go look at the bids. I don't have an account at CharityBuzz.com, but I'm happy to be someone's plus one if they want to win it and invite me. I know how to hop on a plane to LA. But no, I have nothing to do with it. It is up to $5,750, though. It benefits Why Hunger. So I love that Jeff keeps promoting it. I kind of wonder if he has a deal with SiriusXM with that he kind of needs to promote it. But I love that he does it in this fun, self-deprecating way of like joking that like, oh, he's not going to get any, people bidding on it. And then Jameson was like, yeah, people are bidding on it. So anyways, Oh my God, that would be weird. Snowball on Instagram. God, how I would love for Heather or Stu to win that, but they'd have to pay for it. I mean, if some big juicy scooper or anti-Jeff person has, 10,000, whatever it's going to go for, I have no idea. I don't even know when it ends, when the bidding ends. Check out CharityBuzz.com for it. And I just searched Jeff Lewis and because it'll come up. And they could always gift it to somebody, whoever they want, right? For sure. Yeah, they've done it for years. I remember the guy, there was like a husband and wife that came on once, and you could tell they were super quiet and wanted nothing to do with it. It was kind of weird that they even picked to go into a Jeff Lewis. Oh, it ends in 20 days. Thank you, Julie. Yeah, 19 days left to bid. Yesterday it was at 1,800. Today is at 5,700. Okay, did y'all hear the flirting with Jeff, or mainly, I think, from Zach Noe Towers? But on the after show, he does talk about that there's nothing going to happen with him and Jeff, or him and Zach Noe Towers. And I don't think could there be a playful or a one-time only type event? Maybe. I have no idea if Jeff is into that kind of thing. He always seems to be pretty monogamous. Wait, is it up to $11,000? Right, Raquel? Yeah, Lady Grace says, I can't see Zach Noe Towers and Jeff at all. I think they have a fun, flirty relationship. I think Jeff loves the openness that Zach is able to have about his whole sexuality and his lifestyle choices. I don't think that works for Jeff. And I don't think he's physically into him. Like, Zach is way too not Jeff's type based on exes. You know what I mean? Like, I think of Ryan Brown, I think of Scott Anderson, Gage, Stu. I don't think I've seen anyone else, right? I don't think I know of any of his other exes. So anyways. Oh, I love that, Lightworks. I'm loving Paul and Patrick. They had me cracking up last week and today. Only they could get away with taking souvenirs. Exactly. They're so fun. And when I tell you they're so fun in real life and so nice, they really, really are. Yeah, Dames Who Dish says, I'm liking Zach more. Me too. Like, I was one of the first, I think his first time on, early summer, whenever that was, last spring, he was a bit raunchy, but I think he took the notes from Jeff and the fans. He probably watched, thank you for the follows. He probably watched the comments on the Instagram post and realized I need to kind of take this back a notch. But if you follow me on Instagram, you saw that six of us Houston area Jeff Lewis fans got together a couple of weeks ago or a month ago and went and saw Zach Noe Towers live. And he was so funny in real life. He really is a good comedian. And, we waited out front of the Houston Improv to chat with him and take pictures. And it was so fun. He's very nice. So anyways, what else? Oh, ew, that's weird. Chronally? How do you say that? Maybe Scott's talking about an adult size onesie. Ew. Okay. That's even grosser. Manly men is Jeff's type. ALW says on YouTube. Yeah. Yeah, that's true. The kid thing, I don't think Zach Noe Towers has any interest in. He always says, if I ever get someone pregnant, which he's joking, it's an accident. He says, Jeff said that he likes monogamy and has a kid. So Zach Noe Towers isn't an option, Chris Cooper said. Yeah. Very true. Very true. What else? I thought the whole show was really good. Paul and Patrick on the after show, Jeff talks about getting down to his dating weight. So he is definitely amping up. They talk about the bartender, Dawn, that he had 2 dates with last Christmas time during a break. And Paul and Patrick remind him, hey, he's still an option. And Jeff's like, yeah, he's still around. So I don't know if that could be an option. I don't know if Jeff is wanting to be single for a while, if he's wanting to just kind of date around, not get into anything seriously. I think he does get too serious very quickly. Alyssa was giving her 2 cents. Paul and Patrick were. They did not seem like they wanted Jeff to get into a similar situation as he was last in. So they really let their opinions fly with this. And I was kind of surprised that they did that. Well, am I? No, publicly on the radio. I don't know. Oh my God, Krista. Zach goes through a man like hot knife through butter. Would not mess with that, Jeff Lewis says. I mean, does Jeff admit to being a little bit of a playboy sometimes? Yeah. But I think he gets very prude whenever he talks about things. So he doesn't want to do that for sure. Um, did you already talk about the funny Mickey Mouse voice impersonation? No, Alice in Bravo Land. Oh my gosh. So I don't know if I want to touch that. If you heard the Disneyland chatter about people wanting to not be here on earth, I guess, forever at the happiest place on earth and maybe making that decision. Somebody also, that's going to cause, trust me, Jeff is going to get some DMs from people that have personal experience with that or felt it was very mean spirited to talk about. And even Judge Lauren Lake was like, don't come at me. I am just here for sure. Somebody says, WJ King, Mickey voice was too much for Sirius XM. Yeah. It was a little too much, but that moment made me laugh about Mickey being their boss. Yeah. But then somebody calls in. Was it the after show or the regular show? Now I'm getting them all mixed up. And says she actually worked for a third party through Disneyland or Disney World, and it absolutely happened. And if somebody had expired at the park, they would make sure the time of expiration, I have to be careful with my words, y'all, because I'll get in trouble. The time of expiration was changed to when they'd gotten to the hospital. Crazy, crazy, crazy. And I guess I wonder if people can look up seeing if things like that had happened at the amusement park and, and they don't want anything to do with that. Thank you for tapping the screen on TikTok. I really appreciate it. Just tap the screen. It's free. It gives us likes and lets other reality people and Jeff Lewis fans come to find us for sure. Yeah, very sad for sure. And I got some DMs yesterday about Jeff and them kind of poking fun at the furry community. And, I don't have anything to do with his content. I'm not a producer. I'm not Jeff. I just a fan account. Do I love everything he says and does? No. And I talk about that, but I'm also crude and, vulgar and, demented like Jeff is and a lot of us. And I think it's funny. I think there's too much bad, sad, negative, horrific stuff in the world. And I think it's all about intent. And I don't think Jeff and the chumps have a bad intent when they're talking about things that are funny to them. I think sometimes also people find humor as a coping mechanism for things that, stress them out in life. So, if you feel strongly about something, shoot that DM to Jeff. He says he reads all of his DMs. I have nothing to do with it. You know what I mean? Okay, let's get back to the after show because Jeff is talking to Pole and Patrick. And then he also talks about a matchmaker. So apparently Patrick is getting all of these dick pics for Jeff Lewis. And Pole is kind of mad, like, why aren't they sending them to me? And then Jeff says, am I going to have to pay you a matchmaker fee like Patty Stanger does, like $50,000? That was crazy. Then they joke about the Golden Bachelor season 2. Can you even imagine? Like, Jeff Lewis would be hilarious on a reality TV show like that. Like, he would break all the rules. He would make all the producers, all the cameramen laugh, or women, whatever, all the crew, let's say, all the crew laugh and crack up hysterically. But I mean, those editors would have a third and fourth full-time job trying to keep up with everything that Jeff says and that he shouldn't say. You know what I mean? It would be hilarious. But he does say he's at his dating weight. So it does sound like he's kind of gearing toward that way for sure. Lucy loves sports. We don't tune into Jeff Lewis Live for serious talks. So even when it's a serious subject, they're going to make jokes. Yeah. I mean, even they were, Jeff was talking about, Thanksgiving, and he invites people to Thanksgiving. I think he's just in a time where he loves to include people. He likes to make, last night, him going to the Bourbon Room to support Justin Martindale and to support all the other comedians and Jodie Sweetin. I think he just is in a place of like lighthearted, wants to have fun, and wants to support the people that support him. So I loved him talking about that. Loved him talking about Oscar. I love that Jeff seems to think of really thoughtful gifts for people. Like he knows his women in his life want like a YSL purse, Yves Saint Laurent. Okay. He also knows that Oscar, a great gift, would be this annual Disney pass. I had no idea it was $1,600 a year. So somebody tell me in comments what that gives you. You know what I mean? Oh, I was wondering. Thank you, Annette. I was wondering if Chaz Dean was going to Thanksgiving again this year. That is super good news. Thanks for letting me know. Annette lives, I've told y'all this before, but Annette lives in Long Island. So she goes and gets her hair done by Chaz Dean when he's in the New York salon. So she chats it up with Chaz Dean. And this is a candle that Chaz Dean gave me. It says wisdom. It's so good. He's so nice, y'all. This looks so dark in here today. I think I need to get closer or get into the lighting more. I'm so far away from it. I'm going to fix this up and it's going to look so professional. Y'all are not even going to believe that, you know. Yes, he told me. And then after Thanksgiving, he's coming back to New York City. Okay. Well, excuse me. We've got about 15 more minutes if y'all want to. Ask all the questions. Disney Pass gives entry for a year. Oh, hi, Mom. It's my Judy. R.Reich1. She offered to be my mom. Oh, because y'all know my mom. It's almost in 5 years. My mom passed away in January. So the holidays are a little bit hard for us because I remember, obviously, she was sick with cancer for about 3.5 years and fought so hard, did every treatment they ever recommended. She never gave up as much as she was stage 4 and that shit was going everywhere. And she never gave up. So anyways, and my mom passed away on a Tuesday afternoon and we went to lunch out at a restaurant at the Thursday before, like this buffet. So thank goodness my mom to the end, she wasn't sick or she wasn't incapacitated, you know, for a long time at all. Like when it happened, she went very fast, thankfully. Do I know? Yeah, F cancer for sure. I don't know anything about Megan and when she's coming back. I'm sorry. Y'all are all telling me in comments how much cancer has affected your lives. And I'm so sorry for that. I so understanding it. We lost my dad 19 years ago to cancer. And then I lost my mom almost 5 years ago. My only sibling, my brother, had cancer at 37. He's great now and healthy at 53. Yes, 53. And anyways, it's all around my family. So I take every precaution I can and get tested as much as I can for all of my stuff. Oh, Judy, my mom, her mom passed away of cancer when she was only 27. That's a hard age because I got married at 27. So I can't imagine. Yeah. Okay, let's talk about something better. Happier. Oh my gosh. Okay, enough. Cancer is not a fun talk, but it's very relatable, sadly. And I've got so many friends that have been through it and going through it as I speak. So it's always on my brain. For sure. Yes. Sorry. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I get my skin checked. Thank you, Krista. I go every June. I have an amazing, so I see a PA. And her name is Tony. She's amazing. And I get my skin checked. Gosh, I've done dermatology checks since at least 24 years old. So and I'm 50. So a long time. I've had a couple of things sliced off that they called precancerous. So yeah, I definitely get my skin cancer checks for sure. Because look at me, y'all. I'm fair as can be. Freckled, light green eyes, blonde hair. By the way, I'm not bald. I'm just being lazy with my hair. People were saying I looked bald yesterday because I had a ponytail in. Now I've got a loose bun going on, but try as I may, at least I'll put makeup on for y'all, right? A lipstick. Okay, what questions y'all have? Oh, Darla's a breast cancer survivor. Shout out, Darla. I'm so happy for you and your family. I really am. And I hate that you had to experience it, but I'm very happy that you're a survivor. Oh, Mr. Hacksaw, those are not Bottega. I think it's a different brand, but they're dupes. They were $13.99 off Amazon. I was at my girlfriend's girls' night in Sunday night, and they told me, you've got to buy these earrings. And I ordered them, and I love them. Yes, he did say, Martindale, did he say Rick and Kelly will still be on Monday? He did. I am I cannot wait till Monday. I mean, I've got a super fun weekend. We've got one of our college daughters flying home tonight for the whole 10 days. So I can't wait for that. Our other daughter will come home next week. So all 7 of us will be together. So I've got a lot of fun things going on, but I will always be here to chat with y'all. So I'll be live Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then back on Friday with y'all. I'll probably post a little bit maybe on Thursday. We'll just have to see what's going on with, social media and things like that. But yeah. Christine Hunt, do you think Rick and Kelly will bring up the earrings? I have no idea. Will they just ignore this? I know that a lot of Juicy Scoopers, Heather McDonald on her Patreon again today, are like, why isn't Jeff talking about this? That must mean he's guilty. Why is he not apologizing? I don't think it that way at all. I think silence is loud and they are choosing to just ignore it because it drives people nuts. And it absolutely does. And we know that's the case because, yeah. But I can't guess if they're going to absolutely ignore it or bring it up at nauseum and go into all the details. Or if Jeff will bring up, hey, what are you doing? Like, how can you believe this or whatever? I don't know. Why is Jeff effing with Rick and Kelly? Summer Girl 71 says on Instagram. I don't know. Erica Mara says Jeff is never silent when he's right. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. Yeah, you're not wrong. Yeah. But I don't know. I don't think it's about the earrings. I don't think it's about the earrings, and I don't think Jeff thinks it's about the earrings. I think it's about a lot of stuff with Justin Martindale. I believe that story has gotten lost in the fray of the earrings, and I think it deserves a whole other whatever. If you want to hear a lot of Justin Martindale's side of things, I thought he did a really good job on Allison Rosen is Your New Best Friends podcast, so check out that. Judy says 2 things can be right. Love, Mom. Oh, I love that so much. Sarah says on TikTok, I think people were sick of hearing about it. He's listening to the listeners. That could be too. And, a lot of people have said, oh, you're talking about this every day. I absolutely am not. If you watch me every day, the full show, you would know there's many times where I've ignored things. And I got yelled at in the VIP room for not making a story about the earrings. And I'm like, I'm not a Juicy Scoop obsessed fan account. Like, I'm busy at BravoCon having fun with my friends. I mean, I really am honestly surprised there's not a Heather McDonald fan account. Even the Facebook group, Juicy Scoop Obsessed, she's the admin of it. So she's very much in control of what comments get left, what posts get approved and stay up because she does pre-approval, I'm pretty sure. I think Lucy loves sports. I think he's silent because he knows Heather wants him to talk about, so she can't respond to it and record another emergency Patreon for yet another cash grab. He wouldn't give her the satisfaction. You said it, not me. Peter would not allow that. Megan's Storyland. I don't know what you're talking about, though. Let me know what you're talking about. I missed. Mel on TikTok. Funny when Jeff is wrong. It needs to stop. Running your own fan account is wild, Sailor says. I mean, y'all, the stories I'm going to tell right before, I can. I mean, wow. It's crazy how much people F you over that you're shocked about. It's crazy how people will be so nice to you in the DMs and then they'll blast you on a mean Jeff Lewis Facebook group. I mean, it's just, Reddit. It's just like the lies. I mean, the one that gets my husband is he's like a friend of his literally the wife is into Bravo and they were on Reddit and said, dude, they're talking about y'all and it says you only have 4 kids. And I'm like, I know, like you can't even get it right how many kids we have. I mean, like that's crazy. Yes, little peach on TikTok says we need a reality show about podcasters. It is wild, y'all. The behind the scenes stuff and the stories I'm told that I'm not able to say out loud about big time podcasters is crazy. It's crazy. Yes, Jeff does not run his own Facebook group. He has nothing to do with the now probably 8 or 9 Facebook groups that are about him. I have one, Jeff Lewis Obsessed, and I'm the moderator of that, the admin, and then someone else helps me with it. So thank you for that. Oh, Krista, what's going on? If you guys need to block anyone, use the 3 dots to the right of their message and block away. It's fantastic. Does somebody need to be blocked? I do know how to block. I don't block real easily on Instagram or any social media. I feel like if people are gross, men, usually, then I just delete and I block if it's really bad. But, I did post, someone has been DMing me like really mean stuff. Basically, don't talk about just really mean stuff. Right before I went live, they DM me kind of like a nice thing with like some hearts. You never know how a DM is meant to come across, though. Sarcastic, you never know. And so I was like, well, that's weird. Like, are they trying to be friendly with me now? Like, what have you? And then I realized I don't know if it's a boy or a girl, had deleted some of their really mean comments that they had made to me, but left the ones that I had made because they can't delete what I write, right? They can only delete what they do. So just be leery of when you see if somebody screenshots my stuff from a DM, it can be altered. And there's also apps that you can alter things and make it look like a text message or a DM was said and it wasn't. Just ask me. I promise you I'm an open book, probably. Yes, Lady Grace. I got a follow request from Jeff's fake manager. I think that's what Miranda Clam was talking about. People do. Yes, that happened a long time ago. And I get fake requests from Andy Cohen's people all the time. They're fake Instagram accounts. I've gotten from Chef Stew. People had about a year ago things from Chef Stew, a fake Instagram account or something, Instagram something. And they were asking for like gift cards and they thought it was him. So there are people that were fakesters all the time. Somebody says they got one from Pej's mom. Doug Buden has had fake accounts and people act like it's him talking. It's crazy. I don't get ones from Jeff often. I get the Andy Cohen ones a lot. It's kind of crazy. Allison O'Rourke on TikTok says, I heard she made Heather $30,000 on her Megan emergency Patreon episode. There is big money to be made in Patreon. Speaking of, I'll retract a little bit of what I said yesterday because I said I was wondering if or how or when a lot of Heather's closest friends, personally, have said anything in support of her publicly. Somebody did let me know that Chris Frangiola has supported her on his Cover to Cover podcast. So I did want to put that out there. And he basically said things like, I don't want anything to do with Krista. I think Erin Gage should go away. Things like that. But he has supported her. But there's a lot of other people I have questions about. I would just love to hear their thoughts. Lala Kent, Josh Flagg, Fortune Feimster, Sarah, what's her name? Sarah from Juicy Scoop. Who else are some big people? I would just love to hear what they think. And if, Sai to Silva, like, how is that going to come out that she didn't promote Juicy Scoop? Like, how does that make Heather feel? She doesn't follow her, but she follows Jeff. She re-promoted her show with Jeff Lewis Live. I heard 40,000, Allison O'Rourke, and I think that's something. Sarah Colonna. Somebody, I think Krista said she had bragged to her about making 40,000 on the Megan Heather feud stuff. Yeah. Erica Mara. Chris had some words about Justin when this whole first thing started, which I found very telling. Tell me more. Oh, y'all are talking. Sarah wants views and interactions. I mean, that's not a secret. I mean, I'm a fan account. I mean, that's not like a bad thing. Why go block crazy? I just don't block people anyways. To me, it's giving them more power and it's taking the power away from me to make it seem like they mean something to me. All the people that ever blocked me, I never even followed them. Look at my Instagram. I follow like 22 people on TikTok. I follow like 50 something people on Instagram. I don't fake follow people. I want to look at every story, every post that I follow someone about. It is really hard to keep up with that. So trust me. I mean, I love Joey Zalzig. I love Bravo and Cocktails, but some of these accounts can put up 20 to 60 Instagram stories a day. It's a lot, but I want to keep up with that. That's why I follow so few, because I'm dedicated to following the ones that I do. That's why I appreciate when y'all send me things in the Facebook groups, or you send me comments that, like Monica's mom from Salt Lake City comments, because I don't see all those things. I don't follow all those people, so I don't see it all, right? So I really appreciate. Thank you, Deli. I love your outlook, Sarah. Anyways, Vassar 35 on TikTok. She has merch about the Juicy Scoop hoop. She can't be mad about it and profit. Denise on TikTok. Do you think Jeff knew the earrings were $45 a pair? I don't know that he cares necessarily. I don't know that we can 1,000%. I'm so factual. It's annoying. I understand that, but I have questions for Krista. I have questions for Heather that would, and I would need a lot of proof to convince me of these earrings. And I don't think anyone, y'all have come up with so many different scenarios. Oh shit, we're already at 2:45. Sorry. To convince me. But again, to me, it's not about the earrings. Do I think it's important if the earrings are real or not? Absolutely not. I mean, absolutely. Do I think it's more important if somebody knew if the earrings were real or not? That to me is way more important, the intent. So anyways, yes, it's not about the earrings, somebody said, for sure. Anyways, okay, well, we are going to wrap it up. Thank you so much for joining live. Make sure you follow me. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you like and comment, whether it's on live, thank you, or you're watching on the replay, shout out replay crew. I would really appreciate it. Make sure you're following me, especially on Instagram. Jeff Lewis Obsessed is where all my stuff is. Listen as a podcast, because it's just easier for me to make Instagram stories. I'm always going to post there quickly. It does fly by when we're having so much fun with the chumpettes, right? And of course, make sure you join the Jeff Lewis Obsessed Facebook group. It is so much fun and such a better way, easier way for us to connect with each other. I will see you Monday, same time, same place, 12 o'clock Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern. Bye, chumpettes. Thanks for being awesome. Bye, Instagram.